Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast, the football podcast we bring you each and every week. Hope you're all good. Hope you had a good weekend. I know all you Reds out there did, because I know I did, because everything kind of went the way we wanted. But we are going to be taking you through a Premier League review. We'll be taking a look at the international situation. We'll be taking a quick look back at the FAI Cup. We'll be having a look at lots of stuff tonight, and we're going to be talking about also the situation at Roma, who are about to hire either a caretaker manager or their third manager of the season, 12 games in. We're going to talk about Ruben Amorim, who has started at Manchester United. And we'll get into that as well. We'll take a look at the Ireland squad. Plenty to look at, and anything in the chat you want us to look at as well, we can take a look at that as well. But before we begin, if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button and drop a like on the video. We'll go to the OGs first in the chat. Warren's in. Absolutely hilarious thumbnail. Warren, I knew you would love that thumbnail, because you're like me. You're an aficionado of thumbnails, aren't you? This is what we do, isn't it, kid? So I knew you would like that one. So big up and thanks for jumping in there. Henry's in as well. What's the crack, Niall and Mark? There is no Mark tonight. Mark is feeling under the weather. A bug has gone through the family, so he's double timing it at the moment around the house, I would imagine. So I'm solo tonight on my own. Hi, Warren. Juice time. I like that. Jack's in. Up, Niall. Hope you're good, bro. And you, pal. William's in. What's the crack, William? Hope you're good, pal. Jack again is in. We are officially getting the Feyenoord video analyst. He confirmed on X he is leaving Feyenoord. Lads. Just these things happen, you know. But listen, we'll have a bit of crack here tonight. We're going to be here for about an hour. We can talk about anything you want. But I'm sure before we do the Premier League preview, of course, big up Eno in there as well, as always. Always appreciate it. But before we get into the Premier League preview and take a look back at the weekend's action and the effect it's had going into the international break and all. Breaking news today. This man has had a lot to say on video, hasn't he? Absolutely mental. Just to let you know, folks, if you are joining us on Facebook, I don't get to see the username. Apparently, there's a problem with StreamYard at the moment. So all the comments coming through from Facebook are going to be called Facebook user, apparently. So if you're making your comment, just put your name in front of the comment if you want, so I know who you are. It's much easier that way. StreamYard these days having an awful lot of problems. I've been looking at XSplit, actually, and I might be going with XSplit instead of StreamYard, because there's just been so many problems in it and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens, but I'll keep you posted on that as well anyway. I would assume this is Daz. I'm gonna take a wild guess. I can kind of tell by the comment. Big up Daz if it is you. If not, I got it wrong. Henry's in. Brilliant news. Boy, cute. Good riddance. I suppose when you look at this and like this, look, are we surprised at this? No, we're not surprised. We know that there's certain elements of that, and you can see it in terms of the way the refereeing goes and stuff like that. This week's hot topic is next week's forgotten topic and all that kind of stuff. So there's no consistency at all. We know that these guys are the most unprofessional professionals in the world of sport and stuff like that. They're pretty poor at their job. And now there probably is a case. We've heard it before, but there's probably a case to say that maybe referees should be rotated. I heard people talking about it today, saying that, you know, maybe for a certain amount of time, you know, maybe each season you rotate it, and this season we have Spanish referees, then they move off, we have Italian referees, and we just move the pool of referees around. Now, God help whatever league would end up with those Premier League referees, because they're absolutely god-awful. But that's neither here nor there. That's the way it goes. But maybe there's a case for that, so you don't get that kind of even indirect bias in the referees and stuff like that. Like if you're a referee and you follow a team, you know, there's probably going to be an indirect bias there in the way you see things and in the way you do things. Now, we've had a lot of issues with this cute guy. And I'm not just saying it's us. I mean, every single team in the Premier League over God knows how many years has been affected by refereeing decisions and stuff like that. But this guy seems to have been particularly caught up in a lot of ones. You seen him the other night waving away the foul on Mo Salah when he was taken down by Leon Bailey, I think it was. And it was clear in the transcript that he wasn't going to give the foul. Now, thankfully, Darwin went on and scored anyway. And thankfully, Bailey stayed on the pitch as well, because I think against 11, and I said it in my recap today, if you caught that video today that went up on the channel, I said, thank God we were up against 11, because I didn't want Villa going down to 10 men and going into a double block and just sitting in looking for the draw, because it would have been much more difficult. So it worked out in our favour both ways, I think. But it was clearly a foul on Mo Salah. That is not even up for argument. He was fouled 100%. And this is why you get a lot of frustration, of course, in the Arsenal fan base and all these other different fan bases, because the decisions are so wrong at times. It's crazy. But he's been involved in a lot of stuff. I think on more than one occasion, I think he's either been the referee or the fourth official or the VAR. I think he was involved in the Pickford Van Dijk situation when Van Dijk got that injury off Pickford. He was involved in that. I think he's been involved in a lot of different stuff, and not just Liverpool stuff either. But clearly you can see by this video, and you know, the skeptic in me thinks, and probably not with any proof, that there's probably more than just this guy. You know, I'm sure there's plenty of referees in the PGMOL that do follow teams, that have this unconscious bias, or you know, this indirect bias, if you like, because of that might cloud their judgment at times. Because, I mean, after all, these referees are only human at the end of the day. So I think it's really, really important. Cute has been suspended by the PGMOL, but it creates the bigger question and the cloud over the PGMOL. And the question is, should the referees that referee the league, should they be local referees, as in English referees in the Premier League, or should there be a rotation system where foreign referees come in and ref this league, the English referees, the Premier League referees maybe go referee in the French league or whatever it is? So you take away that unconscious bias that clearly exists. And I think that might be a solution or something they have to look at, because I think if this has happened, I think there's probably more of this out there. And it must be very concerning at the moment for Howard Webb and the people at the PGMOL. That's what I would put on it, first of all. The other thing I will put in on this, first of all, is apart from decisions and apart from refereeing decisions and apart from all that, the language that's used in these videos is totally unacceptable for a professional sports official. You know, directly having to go using the word German and all that kind of stuff is really, really bad taste and really poor judgment by this guy, who is a paid professional sports official. Also, the language, the choice of language that's used as well is pretty disappointing. It's the kind of pub language you would expect from maybe fans or something like that. You know what I mean? So the choice of words is there as well, and also his personal attack on Jurgen Klopp. And listen, we know as Liverpool fans, a lot of us, what Jurgen Klopp is like. He's beloved by Liverpool fans, hated by rivals. He's a lunatic on the sideline. I'd imagine he must have been a horror show for fourth officials at times, more bore out of frustration and stupid decisions than anything else, but certainly frustration. And he had a lot of built-up, pent-up aggression because of that as well, I would imagine as well. So I'm sure plenty of fourth officials would have got the hairdryer treatment off Klopp a number of times. So Coote wouldn't be on his own. But he seems to be the one. And then you see the second video there where he says this is not to be released and all this kind of thing, which means you can tell the effect of it and stuff like that, you know. His choice of words for Liverpool, pretty poor as well, saying shite, is totally unacceptable as well. So I don't see there's any way back for this guy in terms of officiating or anything like that. I think his position in the PGMOL will be unattainable at the moment. But it begs the bigger question of the PGMOL itself. And that's probably a bigger discussion for a bigger day. And I would have loved to have Mark on tonight, because I know Mark would have loved to go in on this and go crazy at it. Because he he has a standard and a level of officiating that he likes to maintain and stuff like that. So when his peers let him down, he gets very disappointed about and stuff like that. And we will get to talking about it. We'll get his comments on it again, because I'm sure this is going to grow legs, and I'm sure this is going to be much bigger than just David Coote and the PGMOL. I think there'll be ramifications for this, to be honest. But I just thought I'd bring it up and give you my thoughts on it and stuff like that. And listen, I think most of us here to watch football, certainly in the upper tier community and stuff like that, and even in the wider football community, we know the challenges and the issues within officiating and stuff like that. We know the level is very, very poor. We see when we go into Champions League games and into European weeks and stuff like that, the level of officiating is so much higher and so much better and stuff like that, even in relation to VAR, not just even on pitch stuff. So we'll leave it at that, and we'll see how this goes, and it'll be interesting to see. Should be an interesting time with Howard Webb and Mike Malone. Let's see if Sky have if they have the cojones to let this be addressed, or will it be just one of these ongoing investigations? Let's see. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good riddance to him. Yeah, so Daz is in. What's the news on Trent? Is it me? It is me, Daz. I knew it was you, Daz, anyway. I figured it was you. The news on Trent is basically it sounds like he has a bit of a hammy twitch there. He's pulled out of the England squad, and he's going to be out for about 2 weeks. But you can bet your bottom dollar he's going to be fit for that Real Madrid game. So there you go. But we shall see. The scumbag, big up Zion, thanks for joining us tonight. The scumbag next to him, just as bad. Yeah, I think there's questions over that as well, isn't there? And I mean, it's really, let this be a lesson to everyone. If you're in a high profile position, or if you're in any position that social media could affect in terms of your job or anything else, or your career, or even in your social circles, be very, very careful what you put out. Not put out, but what you let be recorded on video, and the affording of the trust that you give to those people as well. Because plain and simple here's a guy who made a video, totally unprofessional, totally out of order, should never happen. And yet there was a promise that it wouldn't ruin his career and that it wouldn't go out and all this kind of thing. And now it's out, and this guy's career is in tatters. So let that be a lesson. This is a lesson for everyone to pick up on. That be very, very careful when you're out, even on a night out or whatever it is, and you let people record stuff. Be very, very, very careful, because you just do not know where that's going to end up. So I thought I'd raise that as an issue as well. Joanne, how are you? I hope you had a great weekend, Joanne. Gary Lineker is leaving match of the day. Sure. Why not? Why not? What do people feel about Gary Lineker on match of the day? Now that Henry raised it as a comment, do people care that he's leaving? Are they bothered? I don't know. I'm not really that bothered. I think sometimes he raises stuff that's absolutely ridiculous. Jurgen Klopp can get under people's skin for sure, but Jurgen Klopp has never insulted people and used language like that. Yes, and he would. I don't think he's in a position. Jurgen Klopp would be coming from a position where he's feel hard done by the officiating and stuff like that and all. He wouldn't be directly going acute, in terms of that kind of way. And I understand what you're saying there, Zayn, and stuff like that. But absolutely, you can see why he gives him a hard time and stuff like that. But I just think in such a high profile professional position, I think there's a standard that has to be maintained, and that falls way below it. In general. So there you go. Right, so let's get into the Premier League, and let's talk about the weekend. What a weekend. What more can we say? Unbelievable, some of the results and stuff like that. Ipswich beating Spurs. Crazy stuff. Spurs, absolute disaster. Nottingham Forest starting now as well. We'll just breeze over them. We won't go into too much detail. Nottingham Forest taking the lead there against Newcastle and then falling asunder. So many different results there and interesting ones and stuff. Ourselves beating Aston Villa 2-0. I thought it was very, very interesting. I thought that the 2 goals I thought the finish from Darwin was phenomenal, and I thought the break from Mo Salah was unbelievable. And then giving Martinez the eyes, we know that Martinez, what a quality keeper Martinez is. World Cup winner and all that. Just won back-to-back Ballon d'Ors. 2 Liverpool players central in the box, could have squared it to them, gives Martinez the eyes and puts it in at the near post. Absolutely incredible. Brighton beating Man City 2-1. How much flowers can we give Fabian Husler on this podcast? Absolutely phenomenal job he's doing. And I would love, I don't know about you guys, but I would love to see something different in the top 4. You know, maybe a Brighton in there or a Nottingham Forest or something like that. So I hope Brighton take this as an opportunity. And if they can continue the momentum that they have there at the moment, sitting 6th at the moment, but in theory, joint 3rd, if you like. I hope they go into the market in January and they back the manager, strengthen, and they push on in the second half of the season and don't fall away. They've been absolutely fabulous. Even the match they had against us at Anfield, they could have been 3-0 up at half-time against us. Just very unlucky and didn't take their chances. But there you go. Really, really interesting. Everton and West Ham. Good lordy. These 2 teams not doing each other favours at all. Fulham with a big win away at Palace, 2-0. Brentford kicking it all off 3-2 against Bournemouth. What a game that was as well. Thomas Frank again playing basketball with Bournemouth and coming out on top. And a much needed win in terms of what has been happening. We spoke about him during the week. I think it was the Monday night game. Marky and me were on, and he had done it again, taken off a forward and putting on a defensive midfielder he brought on Ben Mee actually, and then got caught big time. A brace by Harry Wilson stealing the points. Really, really poor match management, as they say. United winning 3-0 against Leicester. Bruno Fernandes, something that, you know how much I've been in on Bruno Fernandes on this podcast, but you got to give him his flowers this week. He was absolutely phenomenal yesterday against Leicester. I didn't see the game. I had a look at either his touch map there on yesterday or this morning, I think, and he was everywhere. So looks like these United players now are getting quite excited about the prospect of Ruben Amorim coming in. And it could pay dividends for them. Chelsea and Arsenal yesterday 1-1. What do we say about this? Pedro Neto with the equaliser, a phenomenal finish. Gave Raya no chance, but they could have been much better in defence. In fairness, they could have tracked him a little bit better than they did. But yeah, I think a draw there for both teams. Didn't do either any favours. You feel that Arsenal really needed a win in that one, but under normal circumstances, if you were playing the way you normally would expect, a draw at the Bridge and a point at the Bridge is generally a good result and stuff like that. But under the circumstances of going into the game being 10 points behind Liverpool, didn't help the situation and stuff like that. So now 9 points behind with 11 games played. And again, we would stress it's 11 games played and stuff like that, but 9 points is quite a gap. Liverpool coming back, I think they have Southampton in the first game and then Real Madrid. You would expect them to beat Southampton. And then it's down to Arsenal and to kind of find a way to go on a run and stuff like that. Dealing with a lot of issues as well. Rice with a broken toe. Odegaard only coming back after a 3-month layoff and various things like that. And other little issues, and then Saka coming off injured. Let's see how he is. It's not the first time we've seen that, but really, really important. But some unbelievable results, and that's how it winds out with Liverpool on 28 points, a 5-point gap to Man City, which for me is nothing at all. Except Man City again found wanting. And in disarray, the Rodri effect is absolutely massive. But even putting Rodri aside, defensively they're all over the place. I spoke to the lads on the WhatsApp group as well. We were talking about how Bernardo Silva really not delivering, Doku on the other side really not delivering, Savinho at times doing bits, but again having the bed in only kind of new. You can't rely on him. You got to give him time and stuff like that. Gundogan looking a pale shadow of the Gundogan that left the club 12 months previously, came back, and that romantic return hasn't really bore any kind of fruit at this stage. Haaland will generally score the goal, but again, even his opportunity is pretty blunt, and they find themselves in unfamiliar territory, as I said. 4 losses on the bounce. Apparently, it hasn't happened since Stuart Pearce was manager at Man City. But I have to say, as a Liverpool fan, I'm sitting back and I am absolutely enjoying the absolutely meltdown by Man City and Arsenal's fan bases. It's been very, very enjoyable. You'll see on the video I did today, I can't praise Slot more than I have. I think he's done a phenomenal job. It'll be interesting to see after the international break now. They wanted the judges on this break. These run of 6 or 8 games or whatever it was. I think we had 1 draw and 7 wins or something like that. It was phenomenal. Got another good one coming up as well. Real Madrid we have Man City, Southampton, Everton, Newcastle, Girona. Some really, really good games. But what I often say, and I've said it before in the past, when Liverpool is playing really, really well and they're winning and they're in their pomp and stuff like that, we love the games coming thick and fast. We love the challenges coming thick and fast. And you can bet your bottom dollar that most of these players want to play in games rather than training. So they will be absolutely itching for that Southampton game. And then Real Madrid and then Man City. What a spectacle. And if you think about it, if everything goes to plan and we were to beat Man City at Anfield, the gap then would be 8 points. Now, that would be massive. But again, that relies on us in terms of not picking up too much more injuries, getting players back, and also trying to sort out these contracts, which is so, so important because I said it time and time again, it won't be outside influence that destabilizes our run this season. It will be inside influence trying to get Mo to re-sign, Virgil to re-sign, and then sort out whatever's going to happen with Trent. I don't know. Trent seems to be the one out there. Now, we know they're all still talking and there's offers going in and there's back and forth and there's conversation. Trent is the one I think is hinging. The other two, I think they'll re-sign. I think that both players, Virgil being captain and obviously Mo, who's just an unbelievable talent. I think they'll find a way for both of them to re-sign. I think they're obviously very, very happy with Arna and what he's done. I think they're very, very happy in the way things are moving. Everyone seems to be enjoying their football. Everyone seems to be playing at a much higher level. So let's see what happens and let's see how it all goes. But that's kind of your roundup for the Premier League. You can see there by the table there, Southampton rooted to the bottom. Gary O'Neill obviously picking up a big win against Southampton to leapfrog them. Glad to see Gary O'Neill getting the win. I think he's very, very good. I think he's a very, very good coach, and I think he's had a lot to do with the Wolves. And he would be one team I would be hoping would get out of the relegation zone. Palace faltering again. They're going to need to go into the market to fix things. I think they've lost too much talent and they're really struggling now, and it's coming to fruition on the pitch. And we leave it at that. Ipswich obviously picking up the big win against Spurs. We heard McKenna talking about it. He was absolutely delighted, and it's probably no more than they deserve because they've been very unlucky in a number of games where they've played really, really well, and they are playing good football. They're not playing bad football. So glad to see them picking up points as well. And look, it's always nice when we see Spurs lose, isn't it? A few comments. Where are we? Everyone's saying hi. Everyone's very cordial tonight. That's all. Daz is in. I was playing a game on my phone. He was involved in the Spurs game last season when Jota and Jones got sent off. Absolutely. Look, there's a litany of stuff there, and I'm sure it revolves to other clubs as well. But it just goes to show you the influence that they can have. Right. Let's see what we want to get into next. I want to talk about. Yesterday. Yesterday we had the FAI Cup. Obviously a phenomenal occasion at the Aviva Stadium. Drogheda winning 2-0. Congrats to them. A massive 2 weeks for Drogheda. Derry just seemed to have tailed off at the end of the season, didn't they? And they kind of hedged their bets with one eye. They came out of the title race probably with 2 weeks to go. They had an opportunity to affect it, but they were unlucky. Had a couple of opportunities in that last game, but Shells ended up scoring that late one to win the league. And then they had to get themselves up for this. And I think that's a real tough thing to do, but it's a massive result for Drogheda and a big win. As Drogheda have had a very indifferent season, a real tough season down the bottom there, and that kind of relegation battle with Dundalk and stuff like that, and then they broke and they sort of put a bit of ground between them to end up in the playoff. But this is a huge 2 weeks for them. They've sealed the FAI Cup, and now next Saturday they go into a game against my own Bray Wanderers down here locally. The promotion playoff, and that's going to be next Saturday, 2:00 at Tallaght Stadium, Shamrock Rovers ground. It's 20 quid a ticket. Definitely worth going to. I can't make it to because obviously I work on a Saturday. But I would hope that Bray would get promoted. I'd love to see Bray back in the Premier League, and it would make for some interesting podcasts next season as well, because they're so local to me, and Marky wants us to go on the road, so we'll see what happens. I wanted to have a talk about the attendance, 38,723, and I want to bring up a slide that I found today. This is a slide of the previous attendances for the FAI Cup. Okay, now you can see the last one, 2023, there was 43,881. Now, couple of factors affect that. One, it was a Dublin derby. It was Bows versus St. Pat's. St. Pat's running out winners. I think it was 3-1. But 43,881 for two Dublin clubs was a phenomenal attendance. People were blown away by it. But if you look at this one for two clubs that weren't Dublin clubs, 38,723 is also a phenomenal gate for an FAI Cup final. When you think about it, that it's Drogheda and Derry, so unbelievable. Well, 2020, look at this fraud. 2020 was a disgrace. It sure was. I don't know why it's even on the slide. Why did they even put it in there? It's crazy. Yeah, but I like it. Yeah, but I think that's a huge to draw 38,723 in the Aviva for two clubs outside of Dublin, and no Dublin club to be involved in it. I think is absolutely phenomenal. So hats off to everyone who went and supported it. And I was listening on the radio on Sunday coming home in the car, and they had to delay the game by about 5 or 10 minutes because of all the rockets and the pyro and everything that was going off. So this was made a real event and stuff like that. But congratulations to Drogheda, and of course congratulations to Aaron McNally, who was on the podcast, who does the custom shin guards, custom shins. So congratulations to him as well on Drogheda. I'd love to be cheering for you this weekend, but I won't be cheering this weekend. I'd obviously want Bray to win. But good luck to both teams in it. Just to let you know, this is, as we said, this is the promotion relegation playoff. It's Bray Wanderers versus Drogheda this Saturday, Tallaght Stadium, 2:00. A massive game for both clubs, but certainly a massive 2 weeks for Drogheda after coming through that FAI Cup final and winning it. A loss this Saturday could leave a real sour taste in that celebration. So, but make sure you tune in. It should be absolutely awesome. Let's have a quick chat about the Ireland squad. Interesting that's in there. If you run down through it, you've got now, and it's changed by the note at the bottom. You can see there: Caoimhín Kelleher, Mark Travers, and Max O'Leary, the goalkeepers. Seamus Coleman, Darren O'Shea, Nathan Collins, Liam Scales, Shane Duffy, Mark McGuinness, and Callum O'Dowda as the defenders. That has changed. We'll go through it in a minute. Josh Cullen, Jason Knight, Jason Malumbi, Finn Azaz, and Andy Moran as midfielders. And then forwards: Evan Ferguson, Troy Parrott, Adam Ida, Tom Cannon, Sammy Smodics. What a season Sammy Smodics is having. Festy, Casey McAteer, and Mikey Johnson. Now, the changes that have come out due to injury: Seamus Coleman has been ruled out, Shane Duffy has been ruled out, and Adam Ida are all ruled out of the squad with injury. So coming in for them is Ryan Manning, Jake O'Brien, who I'm really looking forward to hopefully see and play us, and Matt Doherty recalled to the squad as well. All join up for our two UEFA Nations League fixtures. Interesting. I think Seamus going out and Shane Duffy. Adam Ida, I think, is a loss. But Seamus and Shane Duffy, I think, is an opportunity for other players to step up. Really looking forward to these two games. It's it's Finland on the 14th and England on the 17th of November. Not a big fan of internationals, but I'm certainly a big fan of the man in the picture there, Caoimhín Kelleher, who has been absolutely outstanding for Liverpool. And make no bones about it, he is without a doubt the best number 2 goalkeeper in the division, in the Premier League, without a shadow of a doubt. Henry's in. I may be doing the Era versus Finland if I can find a legal stream. If you have a VPN, Henry, you can put your VPN on your computer, set it to Ireland, and it may be getting covered by RTE. And if it is, you'll get it on the RTE player. That would be the way to go. Maybe download NordVPN or one of those. You can do a 30-day trial on them or something like that. And it allows you to set your computer to Ireland. So it makes your computer think you're in Ireland. And then you can download the RTE player, I think. I think they might be on RTE. If not, you'll get the Virgin Media player. And you'll be able to view both games on that, I would imagine. If not, they have been on Sky as well. So you might get them on Sky as well, potentially. Daz, who they got, Niall, is in Finland, home or away? I know Wembley for England. I think we're home. Are we home for... No, did we play Finland at home already? No, we played Finland away. So we're home, I think, to Finland and away to England, from what I can remember. Maybe I'm wrong. Ted, it's on the RTE player. So there you go, Henry. That's the way to get it, Henry. So get your VPN, 30-day NordVPN, stick it on the computer, set your computer to Ireland, download the RTE player, boom, you're done. There you go. Home against Finland. Yeah, that's right. We are home against Finland. Yeah, so we went up there and played them. Remember, it looked freezing. So home against Finland and away against England in Wembley. So that should be interesting. We will get your thoughts. We will give you our thoughts on that next Monday when Marky's back and stuff like that. I think both games will be played at that stage, I think. Well, I'll just double check the old calendar. Yeah, the 17th is Sunday. So we're playing Thursday and we're playing Sunday. So both games will be played by the time next week's Monday match rolls around. So no problem with that at all. We also have the nominations for the FAI, the 34th FAI Awards. I didn't go down through every category, folks. There is a category for every underage group as well and everything. So I didn't go through all of them, but I just picked out some of them that are there, you know. Senior Men's International Player of the Year, Gavin Bazunu, Evan Ferguson, and Ogbene. I think it has to be Ogbene, doesn't it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, who you're thinking. I mean, we haven't seen a whole lot of Gav. I've seen him at the AC/DC concert, but apart from that, he hasn't really. He's been injured a lot, quite a bit. Evan has been going through a tough time at Brighton. Obviously, he's been having a tough time on and off the pitch. A fabulous talent and a fabulous player. And hopefully we get to see him back at his absolute pomp. But I think Ogbene has probably been the guy for me. Senior Women's International Player, Courtney Brosnan, Niamh Fahey, Katie McCabe. Of course, I'd be going with Niamh Fahey. So there you go. Young Men's International Player of the Year, Gavin Bazunu, Evan Ferguson, Will Smallbone. I think you'd probably have to go with Will on that one, being honest. I think he's had quite an influence since he's come into the team. And League of Ireland Men's Player of the Year, sponsored by SSE Airtricity. Chris Forrester of St. Patrick Athletic. What an end to the season St. Pat's had. Lee Grace from Shamrock Rovers and Jack Moylan from Shelbourne. And I think as tough as the decision is, I think most people will probably go Jack Moylan, won't they? I think it kind of makes sense. But let me know your thoughts on that as well, if you've seen any of this or you've been tracking it, especially you Irish fans in the chat and stuff like that. But they're the awards. We'll get Marky's thoughts on them as well next week. Let's talk about this. You Man United fans are in there in the chat. Ruben Amorim has started at Manchester United. But he's set to have talks with Ruud van Nistelrooy, who had his last game against Leicester there the other night, or potentially. But he's set to have talks with Ruud van Nistelrooy over his future. So for Ted or anyone else in the chat there who are Man United fans, how do you feel about this? Do you want Ruud to stay? In what capacity would you like him to stay? Do you think it's the right thing for him to stay? Obviously, we've seen him act like the Grim Reaper over Ten Hag's shoulder. Would Amorim be have reservations about that? We know that Amorim is bringing most of his coaching staff from Sporting. That was part of the deal that was trashed out and stuff like that. So what's your thinking on Ruud van Nistelrooy? Would it be important to have him around? We know you have a lot of young strikers in there, and the likes of Garnacho, Hoyland, Xerxes and all, who would have huge benefits from being around a guy like Ruud van Nistelrooy with the experience that he has. Would Ruud be happy to be stepping back into that? But I haven't seen anything yet on it. I don't know. Now, this might have changed. I didn't read it today. Henry saying Ruud has left United already. Ted is saying, I think Ruud is officially gone, but I didn't see that he was officially gone, so I'll take your word for it, guys. But again, how do you feel about it, Ted? Do you think he should have stayed? Do you think United should have kept him on? Or do you think it's a clearing of the decks? And the Ruud assistant manager has gone also. There we go. So there we go. That's confirmed. I didn't know it was confirmed today. I didn't see it, but I said I put a slide together to get a conversation on it. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think he should have stayed? Interesting to get your thoughts on that. This, we spoke about it earlier. Roma are now seeking their third manager of the season. Roma has sacked head coach Ivan Juric following Sunday's 3-2 home defeat by Bologna and are searching for their third manager of the season. Croatian Juric, 49, was appointed in September as a replacement for Daniele De Rossi, who was only manager for 8 months after Jose Mourinho left. The former Torino and Hellas Verona manager was in charge for 12 matches, winning 4 and losing 5. Ted is saying, I think he chose to leave because he didn't get the job. Yeah, and that's fair enough. And I wonder was the promises made when he came in? Because I think generally, and Ted, you could back this up in our chat. A lot of people in our chat thought that, like, he was the Grim Reaper in waiting, that if Ten Hag went, that Ruud would be the guy probably till the end of the season. Take a look at it, see how he does, and take it from there. But the team, the Ineos moved swiftly on Amarin, really, really quick to get him in and stuff like that, which obviously the writing then was on the wall for Ruud. But I don't know, maybe he didn't want to stay, but certainly he could have been a vital component in helping to develop those young strikers that are in there. But there you go. They haven't got a clue what they're doing. What a mess of a club, thanks to the owners. Yeah, it's just crazy, isn't it? But this Roma one just caught my eye today because like 3 managers, in the space of 12 games. I think the players were stepping up and playing because it was Ruud. It may be different with Amarin. I think they'll step up for him as well, new manager and all that kind of thing. I am glad we didn't wait and see and have him win a few and then be made manager, seeing it fail too many times. Yeah, I think that's the case, and I suppose for me probably it's the right decision, because although I think he could be very beneficial to those young strikers, maybe he wants something more. Maybe he's at a position in his career now that he wants to be more than just some guy in the background working with strikers. So, yeah, I'd have liked him to stay, though. Yeah, I think so as well. I think most United fans would have liked him in some capacity to stay. But again, if your sights are set on bigger things, not bigger things, but, a bigger position somewhere, then you can understand it and stuff like that. But yeah, this is absolute disarray at Roma since Mourinho left and stuff like that. And isn't it mad when Mourinho leaves a club as well? Isn't it how crazy they end up going? Like they're generally crazy at the tail end of when he's there, and then when he goes, it's just a madness. So yeah, I thought I'd put that out there. 3 managers in 12 games. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Have I anything else? I don't think I have anything else. It's a shorter show than usual because obviously Marky isn't here, so I don't have anything to bounce off him. But if you want to, for a few minutes, give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts on the Premier League at the moment, where your club is at. How do we see it playing out? What's coming up in the next trench of games? I had a look at it today. Or if you've any further thoughts on this situation, you're more than welcome to share them. Crazy, crazy, crazy times. Trent out for a couple of weeks, hopefully. Yeah, tweaked his hamstring. Apparently he's going to be out for around 2 weeks. Talk is he might be back in time for the Southampton game, but you can bet your bottom dollar he'll be back in time for the Real Madrid game. And I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, because he could be putting himself in the advertising window. Who knows? Let me know your thoughts on that. Ted Shaw is back just in time for the international break. He wasn't called up, was he? Was he called up? I know he called up Grealish. What do you English fans in the chat think about that? He called up Grealish, and Grealish is out injured, and Pep went ballistic over this. Absolutely crazy. I can bring it. I can bring it up for you if you want. Who we have next? I think we have Southampton. Then we have Real Madrid. Let me bring up Liverpool fixtures. Real Madrid. Then we have Man City. Let me see. I'll go through them. Back there. Right. So when we return, we've got Southampton away at St. Mary's. Then we've got Real Madrid midweek, match day 5 of 8. Then we have Man City on the 1st of December. Then we have Newcastle away on the 4th. We have Everton away on the 7th. We've Girona away then. And then we have Fulham at home on the 14th. And then we have, bringing us right up to the Christmas period, we have Southampton away in the quarterfinal of the AFL Cup. That's on the 18th of December. Then we have Tottenham away on the 22nd. And that rounds out up to us as far as Christmas. Then we have Leicester at home on St. Stephen's Day here, Boxing Day for you guys. And then the 29th, we have West Ham away. And then our next game then is the 5th of January. We're at home to Man United. And then the 14th of January is Nottingham Forest away. That's all the games right out till the 14th of January. So that's for you. That's Southampton, Real, and City. Yeah, it's a nice run of games. That Real Madrid game could set us up really nicely for the City game. Real Madrid suffering with a lot of problems at the moment. We seen Militao the other day doing ACL, struggling there. We know Carvajal is out as well, and we know that Real Madrid they're not kind of playing the way they had been playing, stuff like that. Mbappe is gone in there. Has it become a little bit imbalanced? I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Real Madrid except in the Champions League and stuff like that. But if you look at their league form at the moment, they've been struggling somewhat. Mad how he always hails just in time. It is mad, Ted, isn't it? It is, and it can't be just coincidence, because it's all the time. Don't know if he's called up, but he's fit to play. Wonder what cars they bring him in. Has he been called? Let's have a look. Let's see. England squad. See what the latest is. England squad. It's the one we want. England squad ravaged by 8-player withdrawals. So it's a good chance he might have got a call up, actually. So let's see what it's saying here. Okay, so Manchester City pair Phil Foden and Jack Grealish, Arsenal duo Declan Rice and Saka, and Chelsea's Cole Palmer and Levi Colwill have all withdrawn. That's massive. Along with Liverpool's Trent Alexander-Arnold and Southampton's goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale. That's a massive chunk of players that have pulled out, isn't it? That's a massive chunk of players. Jeez, we have a chance. We have a chance over Wembley. Let's see what it means. So here's the squad. Who's in there? Or has he called anyone else up? So your goalkeepers are Dean Henderson, Jordan Pickford, and James Trafford. Defenders are Gahey, Livramento, Lewis Hall, Taylor Harwood Bellis, Konsa, Jared Brandwaite, Kyle Walker, And then your midfielders, you have Jude Bellingham, Conor Gallagher. He's doing very well at Atletico at the moment. Morgan Gibbs White, very good for Forest. Angel Gomez off Lille and Curtis Jones off Liverpool. And then your forwards are Anthony Gordon, Morgan Rogers, Jared Bowen, Harry Kane, Noni Madueke, Dominic Solanke, Ollie Watkins. So let's see, has he brought anyone in? Staggering will cause more debate over the amount of games. And it's saying here with John Stones, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, and Kobe Mainoo already out, Carsley has huge problems heading into the vital Nations League games against Greece in Athens on Thursday night. So I wonder, will he call up Luke Shaw? Maybe not for the Greek game, but maybe for the Ireland game in Wembley or something like that. I'm not too sure, but there's no update here at the moment of who else has been called up in the row, any latest news, or if you guys have seen anything. Called up Grealish, that's mad. Anything here on text? Trent, the usual stuff. No further updates. England squad updates 3 hours ago. Let's see what's in here. See if there's any further updates. Let's accept this. Morgan Rogers has received his first senior call-up from Aston Villa. Having a phenomenal time at Aston Villa there. Just not against us. Jared Bowen, Brant Waite, Livermento, James Trafford all being added. The following 8 players ahead, Nation League, these are all the ones that are out. We spoke about them. 23-man squad will now prepare for Thursday's Greek game and against the Republic in Ireland in Wembley. Then it goes into the underages. Who's withdrawn from the underages. So yeah, there's no major update there. That's it, what it is at the moment. So there you go. Good to see Jones in the England squad. Yeah, absolutely. Although, as I have to say, I prefer if they don't get called up because there's a greater chance of injury and stuff like that. But touch wood, it doesn't happen. But certainly, Curtis Jones should definitely be called up, and it's on merit as well. Herd Ramos is on his way back to Madrid. Don't know about that. I hope not. They need some top tier shit. They do, yeah. Big up, Ryan. Hope you're good, mate. Good win for you there at the weekend against Southampton. Hope you're happy with that. How is Nick Pope still not getting a shout? The only reason I can think of is he I don't know. That's an interesting call, Ted. That's an interesting call. Wonder, did he make himself available, or did he not? Be interesting to have a look at that. But that's a great show. Big up, Daz, mate. From Ryan. Shaw will get a few minutes in and then be out injured again for a few months. I think he'll probably will he get a call up after the Greek game and be featured, or is the squad now locked in? I'm not too sure. Just on the Morris having a horror time this year. Yeah, absolutely. Fancy football, and look, he had a great year last year. But yeah, absolutely. Fancy football. But look, fancy football must be a nightmare for all you guys this season. So many top tier players not hitting their stripes at all. And so many unknowns doing so well as well. So first win since April, best weekend in a while. Yeah, absolutely. And listen, you had to beat them. It was Southampton. No matter what happened there, you had to beat them. If you didn't beat them, you'd be giving Gary O'Neill his papers. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, and about bloody time. Yeah, absolutely. So listen, gives you something to build on. You know, it's not like the football is bad. You know what I mean? You've just been unlucky at times, I think. But hopefully it gives Gary something to build on. Unless you've heard something else, Ryan. Are they still potentially pulling the trigger? Would they still potentially pull the trigger in the internationals, or would the win buy him a bit of time? Now I know people are turning around and go, it's only Southampton. It is only a Southampton, but you have to beat them. You still have to beat them. Haaland not firing for him. Yeah, absolutely. Haaland's not firing. But then he's not firing for anyone, is he? And I'm sure there's a massive cluster of fantasy football people out there have Erling Haaland in their team, I would imagine. We didn't even play that well, and we're fortunate for once with VAR, and I see him being given time still, mate. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Because you look at the bottom of the table there, Ryan, as well. It's not massively detached to the point there where you need to panic yet. I think if you get those players going and you find your rhythm and stuff like that, you'll pick up more wins and you'll pick up more points. And I think that's even under Gary O'Neill. I think if that gap stretches, then I think a decision will be made pretty quick. Would you ever do a Q&A podcast? I kind of would, yeah. We kind of do them anyway, don't we? Like, even when I do the Liverpool lives and stuff like that, there's always a huge focus on the chat. But absolutely, are you thinking, Henry, like just a general generic one that's not even football? He can ask me like my hobbies and what I like and all that kind of stuff. Or are you thinking just in general? Yeah, I think so, Ryan. I think that formula there. I mean, Gary needs. You need to go into the market in January as well. You need to strengthen and push on from that and stuff. A lot have Haaland, but haven't been captaining him. Yeah. Ted, this is basically a Q&A. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and it is every week, because every week we're always here on the podcast trying to solicit opinion from people and stuff like that to get their thoughts on things and get their opinions, because at the end of the day, it's kind of a pretty lonely podcast of me and Mark are just here chatting to each other about our thoughts on it. So we love you guys to get heavily involved in the chat and stuff like that, because it's your opinions that really make the show, regardless at times how outlandish they are or how spot on they are and stuff like that. But it's really, these podcasts are all about opinion, aren't they, really? And there's never right or wrong. There's just different opinions. Just a note as well, folks, this week, because we don't have Thursday tier talk, we're going to be doing the pro wrestling show on Thursday. And Darren is coming on because I know he likes to break from football to get involved in the pro wrestling chat. So we'll put together a pro wrestling show for Thursday. I'll probably put it up on the channel tomorrow. But just a heads up, in case you're wondering if there's a pro wrestling Tuesday, Wednesday, it's going to be Thursday, 9 o'clock. Myself and Darren talking all things pro wrestling. Just to change it up a little bit. We need to get Andre into this team. He's a very good player, and surprised that the manager hasn't fit him into the team yet. Yeah, you need 15, 16 players in there, Ryan, that you can call on and stuff like that when you need to change up games and try something different, all that kind of stuff. And just, if something isn't working for you, give Gary the options that he needs. I wish he would just push Joe Gomez forward and play Andre with Lamina. It's a shout. Definitely a shout. Lamina, what a player Lamina is. Collector's Corner with Dazzler. I don't know. We could do a little bit of that, couldn't we? We could probably, yeah, that's a great show, Ted. That's actually a great show, because what we could do is we could both pick out a few pieces. And we are coming up to Christmas, and we know that collectors love, getting presents and stuff like that. I love getting a few figures. Stephen, who's normally in the chat, is a big collector as well, the West Ham fan and stuff like that now. So we could pick out a few pieces and we could show them. Yeah, nothing. We won't put the whole show that way, but certainly we could do a little bit. That's a great show, Ted. Spot on. Thanks for that, Pop. Appreciate that. Because I was kind of trying to figure out what we're going to talk about, because there's not that much going on. Premium live event wise. We are going to have a chat though about Mike Tyson coming up this weekend versus Jake Paul, live on Netflix. So we will be talking about that, and we'll be getting your thoughts on that as well. Certainly going to be interesting. But great show, Ted. That show I said I was going to, Niall, tickets sold out now. That's fantastic, Daz. Many tickets, do you reckon, Daz? Is it a big place? Is it a community centre, a gym hall? What is it? Let us know. I love those wrestling shows. Those small, unique wrestling shows where the fans are on top of it and stuff like that. It's absolutely cracking. You could do about 8 hours with Dazzler alone. Man, you have no idea. You should see that guy's promo collection. That guy has promos that you would donate a limb for. Signed Macho Man stuff and all. Signed Warrior stuff. Really, really, really cool stuff. Doesn't do it justice because he doesn't display it. He needs to find a way to put up a few bits, but it's always difficult when you're a family man like me in the house here. I have a few bits up, there's a belt over there signed by Goldberg and a couple of other bits and pieces around the place and stuff like that, But yeah, really, really cool. Jersey over there signed by Big Virgil. Jersey over there signed by Lionel Messi. Interesting. But we shall see. We'll have fun. Ryan's in. Mike Tyson better not take a dive. Oh, Ryan, Ryan, when I was watching that the interview today, you know, where the two of them are sitting backwards on the chairs and they're just laying it onto each other and talking and stuff like that. If he does, the credit, like this would be rotten, wouldn't it? This would be absolutely rotten. Like, let's be honest here. If Mike Tyson gets in close to this guy on the ropes and he hits him with some of those uppercuts, he will knock that guy's jaw into next week. But the reality is, whoever's paying the piper is the guy who kind of like a detailer. Yeah, like a hall does. Yeah, cool. So what are you getting in there, Daz? You getting a couple of 100, 200, 250 maybe? Very good. I love those wrestling shows. Saying some of it before, he sends it to me every once in a while. It's phenomenal stuff, Ted, isn't it? Phenomenal stuff. He built it up during COVID and stuff like that and all, but he's a phenomenal collection. Some really cool stuff. Better have a jersey you've not got signed. It's back in the parents' house. Go on, let me know. I'll tell you one thing. If you want to talk about signed jerseys, talk to Darren. Darren has sacks of signed jerseys from when the lads used to do security at the Aviva and stuff like that. They're all just thrown in a bag. Phenomenal stuff signed by guys. Want to see it. He even pulled out there. I was looking at some stuff on him there last week. I think he actually pulled out a Liverpool jersey. Pulled out a yellow Liverpool jersey. Remember the yellow one with the black? And it wasn't that yellow mustardy one. It was the light yellow one, I think, with a bit of navy on it, was it? And I think it was signed by someone. Signed by the whole Carlton team, I think. It was from back in 03. I presume Carlton... That's Charlton, I assume, is it? Yeah, Charlton. Yeah, absolutely. I like that. 100% Netflix have a big deal with Jake Paul, I believe, where the fight's going to be shown. I wonder if Tyson won the fight, would you get the rematch then, or you get the trilogy? You know, best of three kind of thing. You know, maybe that's what they might go. 500, maybe. That's class, That's class. Hats off to them selling it out as well. But praying Mike smashes him up. Yeah, absolutely. I just don't think that's the narrative, though. Do you? I don't think it's the narrative. Imagine Mike turned around and just bit the top of his ear off again or something like that. Went on a mad one, Tyson did. Because he's been flinging shit at Mike quite a bit. That'd be crazy. Might not have been Charlton, but I won it in a raffle, something you'd never have even thought of having. Yeah. It's cool, though. It's cool. I wonder who was on it. You're saying what's a Charlton? Must look back at that. Charlton back in 2003. Charlton. Whose names have you names on it, Ted? Have you any names you could throw at us? Could you remember? Yeah, it's definitely. I knew it was Charlton. Yeah, absolutely. Are we getting AJ versus Fury? Jeez, I don't know. Don't know. I don't think so, are we? I don't think. If we are, it's going to be down the line, aren't we? I'll have to dig it out. Let me see now. Actually, John, I'm gonna do. Let me pull up the Charlton squad. Charlton squad 2003. Let's see. Charlton squad 2003. Charlton Athletic squad 2003. Let's see what we got here. First team squad. Ted, here's the first team squad for Charlton Athletic in 2003. In goals for Ireland, Dean Kiley. Chris Powell at the back, Graham Stewart, Richard Rufus, Mark Fish, Matt Holland, Ted, Jason Ewell, Klaus Jensen, Paolo Di Canio, Herman Haraldson, remember him. Did he come from Wimbledon? I think. Jerome Thomas, Kevin Lisby, Paul Konchesky. How could I have not remembered Paul Konchesky? Good Lord. Good Lord. Who else is in there? Michael Turner, Jonathan Fortune, Simon Rice. Who else is sticking out here that I remember? Stephen Hughes, Sergio Lette, Carlton Cole. Carlton Cole on loan from Chelsea. Eno would have given us that one. Chris Perry and Alex Varney. I remember some of them. Konchesky, Jerome Thomas, Paolo Di Canio, Jason Yule. I was on Curbs. Was Curbs manager? Who was manager? Let me go back out here. Manager. Alan Curbishley, yeah. Alan Curbishley was manager. I'll tell you one thing. Unreal. You know, in the 2003-2004 season, they finished 7th in the Premier League. 7th. Charlton. Curbishley. Sometimes doesn't get his flowers. Curbishley. Jason Yule was the top goal scorer with 10 goals. The highest attendance was versus Chelsea on St. Stephen's Day, Boxing Day, 26,768 at the Valley. That's incredible. That's incredible. That's a real throwback. I like that head. I like that. I like this. I think if Fury loses, though, it was like there's probably more of a chance of it happening. I wonder will there be as much interest, though? That's the only thing, Ryan, you know. These boys are getting smashed up. AJ Styles will get smashed by Fury. Don't be silly. Don't know. He might come off the ropes. Come off the ropes with that flying forearm, or hit him with a Pele. In this second fight, yeah. Might not even have been 03. That's just a guess as well. It's not a bad shout though. A couple of Irish lads in there. You know what I mean? So maybe. What a player Matt Holland was as well. Bloody hell, I remember this Charlton team. Don't you, Ryan? It's mad, isn't it? Yeah. Dennis yeah, in that team. I didn't say, maybe he is. Hang on, wait, let's say first team squad. Dennis Roma. Not mentioned here, but he may have been, because there can be inaccuracies in it. Let's see. Left the club during the season. Right? Scott Parker went to Chelsea. Chris Bart Williams went on loan to Ipswich Town. And Paul Konchesky went on loan to Tottenham. It's not mad. What else? Matthias Svensson went to Norwich City. And Mark de Bolla went to Chesterfield. There you go. Interesting. I think that's how you spell his name. Yeah, no, you're spot on with the spelling. I know who you're talking about. I think I'll be in the parents' house tomorrow. I'll have to see if I can find it. Yeah, if you find it, take a picture, Ted, and send it into the group. We'll see, can we decipher? We'll see if Eno, I don't know if Eno's watching tonight, but we'll see if Eno does that the Scott Parker one. That'd be interesting. Well, Scott Parker not in that team. He obviously was. I don't know, did I not mention? Maybe I skipped over him or something like that. Interesting. Yeah, Scott Parker to Chelsea. Yeah, he went to Chelsea, so he's in there somewhere. Yeah, there you go. Or did he go to Chelsea by this point? He went to Chelsea. Maybe left during the season. Maybe he went to Chelsea before the season started because he's not listed here in the squad. So maybe he went to Chelsea in the August. Maybe that's what it was. Interesting. She's not mentioned in the squad. Maybe he was out of favour. Or maybe didn't they still have the rule? I don't know. Did they still have the rule there by the X amount of English players or something like that? I'm not too sure. Interesting though. Yeah, you did, mate. I put the comment in before you mentioned it. There you go. No bother. So that's it, folks. Bit of crack there at the end. Ted, look forward to seeing that picture, actually, if you could dig that out. That's pretty cool. Random, but pretty cool. But I do love that kind of stuff. They're little treasures and stuff like that. I actually have, funny enough, I think it's up in the attic. I have a Spurs jersey from that cup final, that FA Cup final, signed by Gaza. And it's up in the attic somewhere. And I also have a Bayern Munich training top over there signed by Lewandowski. I have a couple of bits around the place. Sometimes I forget about some of that. I have a Fowler jersey signed over there from the Worthington Cup final that I got signed in person, and that ball behind me there. If you see that ball over there on my right hand side, that little ball there, that's signed by Bruce Gobbler and by Robbie Fowler and all and stuff. Jersey signed by Del Piero, jersey signed by Maradona, the Napoli one there over my head, the Mars one. And the trunks at the back are signed by Ric Flair, signed by the Nature Boy. Do England and Ireland play this week? I haven't seen the international fixtures. Yeah, they're playing on Sunday in Wembley. Yeah, should be a cracker. Should be a cracker, especially with the teams that are out now. I speak to a lot of Spurs fans. They'd love that Spurs shirt. Absolutely. There's a guy I connect with through the shop, actually, folks. Richard is his name. He lives down in Kerry, beautiful part of the country. He's a big Spurs fan. And he has a couple of track jackets, the original track jackets that were worn, I think, back in the 60s, he said. Spurs wore them to 2 cup finals, I think, in the 60s. And Spurs actually contacted him they wanted to buy the two jackets off him. The old school track jackets they used to wear out, for the finals. And they wanted them for the Spurs Museum. And they brought him over and all, and they made him an offer, and he turned the offer down. There you go. There's a little bit of information. But they made him a good offer as far as now. Are we playing against Ireland? That was me. Yeah, Ryan, yeah, on Sunday. Greece on Thursday, I think it is, and Ireland on Sunday. Spurs fans, yeah, mad, isn't it? Mad. Those aren't real. These are 100% real, trust me. 100% real. Yes, Ryan. What's up, Niall? How are you, Romy? Hope you are good, my friend. Hope you're having a good start to the week and had a good weekend. Poker, yeah, no, these are legit 100% real. They brought him over and all, and he turned down the offer. They must have been steaming. He actually, believe it or not, he actually met Levy, I think, was in the manager and all. He might be listening tonight, Richard. He's down in a lovely part of the country, down in Killarney and Kerry. But he had these 2 track jackets. And they were sitting in a bag in the bottom of his wardrobe for he reckons about 10 years or something like that. Something crazy like that. I think he said that, did he say he bought them off a guy during COVID? And he got them for a real good price, but apparently they're worth big bucks. The club want them anyway. Now, since then, I haven't seen him in a while since that story. He may have sold them to the club in the meantime. Now, I'm saying Spurs fans aren't real. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. They're in hiding at the moment anyway after dropping 3 points to Ipswich. Milk Levy for all you can. Absolutely. Listen, we know the background to him. He's going to drive a hard bargain anyway and stuff like that. But they were hot on these. They wanted them. They paid for him to go over and all with them. So they wanted them for the museum. So look, it's not like they're putting any trophies in it, so they may as well put in track jackets and all in it. Spurs fans are the gift that keeps on giving. Wait till we rate them again for a saucy player. Who's there at the moment? They're all looking a bit mid at the moment, aren't they? They're all looking bang average. You don't want. There is no Gareth Bale coming out there again, Romy. That's for sure. That's 100% for sure. Unless they develop the young boy Archie Gray that's gone in there, maybe they could develop him into something. But apart from that, I don't think there's a whole lot that you want. Le Pigeon. He did a hammy. Did he do a hamstring or did he do an ACL or something like that? Did I read the other day? A knee injury or something? Is he not gone out for a while? I think he's gone out for a while. It did bring a smile to my face. Would LFC go for Son? I wouldn't have thought so. I just don't. No, definitely not. I wouldn't think that would be the dynamic of what Hughes and Edwards would be looking at. Porro looks likely for us, but he couldn't defend a flagging God. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think you'll go for him. I think with what you're dealing with there at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if you came in with a deal for Trent in January. And what's even scarier is I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool took the deal. Interesting. No, they've enough left wing. Absolute. That's what I was thinking. Is where would he fit into? The last 3 or 4 players we bought up front are all left sided. So, yeah, definitely not. A couple of players would have to leave the building, and the only reason he'd move, he'd want game time and all. I take Kulu. He seems okay. Rodrigo, I can see off in the summer. You wouldn't be replacing Rodrigo with Kulu. Kulu is very indifferent. He can be really, really good one week, and he can be shocking the next. And he can also be very, very 8 out of 10, 2 out of 10, even in a game. I don't think you want to be going near him at all, Romy. And certainly not. I wouldn't be thinking of him as coming in with Rodrigo exiting the building. No, thank you. Henry Breaker, son on the decline. Yeah. I think he still has a lot to offer he'd have a lot to offer as a squad player and stuff like that. But certainly he's certainly not the son we seen when Harry Kane was there, and maybe that was the dynamic between the two. But you definitely, even Ryan's laughing here. You're definitely not bringing. Yeah, I'll take Kulu. You're not taking Kulu. That'll be winding me up, Romy. Taking Kulu. No way. Not a chance. Just for those if they don't know, we're talking Real Madrid here now. You know what I mean? Kulusevski. Nah, come on. Give over. You're winding me up here now because I'm on my own. You're 100% winding me up here because I'm on my own. Look at that. Look at that, you absolute fraud. I take Kulu and Poirot. Nah. You want Trent. You know you want Trent. That's it. Why would you be looking into Trent and then going for Poirot? Son moves like the DMZ now. He does. He's definitely. But so look at what he's surrounded. You've got Brennan Johnson in there now. You've got Madison in there, and you've got Solanke in there and stuff like that. You gotta get a giggle somewhere. Absolutely, I take Kulu, and what's worse is I took the bait. I originally, first of all, thought you were being serious, and I was going, nah, come on, it's too late anyway. Folks, I gotta go. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you Thursday for a bit of wrestling chat as always. If you could, make sure you're liking the video on the way out. It's so important that you hit that like down there. That's what really makes things happen in this algorithm, isn't it? Make sure you have the bell notification hit as well, so that way you'll know when shows go up and when there happens stuff that you did, you dirty tramp, you did 100%, 100% you did. And I'm normally Ted will tell you in our group, I'm normally the one spinning those reels out there big time. Son needs to play up with Solanke, not as a wide player. He's not good enough for that anymore. Yeah, he needs to really be playing on the shoulder of guys and stuff like that, doesn't he? Good stream, Noel. Appreciate that, Henry. Thanks for joining us and all and stuff like that. Really appreciate it, mate. Big up, mate. Take care. Already smashed the like. You're a gent, Ryan. A gent is always welcome. Drop in whenever you like, man. Appreciate having you on here. Nice to have other teams represented as well and stuff like that and all. Folks, make sure you have a great week. Enjoy it. Embrace it. I know it's International Week and can be painstaking at times getting through it, especially if your team is playing really, really well like my one is. The last thing I want is an international break. But I'll talk to you again real soon. And that's it. Catch you Thursday for some pro wrestling chat. Cheers.